Felicitations, adventures! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. And today, I am so dang excited. We are playing Wizard Pals, written by our very own Tadhg, who is right next to me on the screen, but not in real life. And I am also here with Xavery, Josh, and Jason. And also, I'm here as a player, which, I don't get to do as much, so I'm very excited for that. If you're new here, my name is Taylor. I am kind of the person behind Roll for Felicity. Most of the time I'm GMing, although this time I am not. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. We did character creation. We did a character creation stream for Wizard Pals previously, which you can still see. It's not on YouTube yet, but the VOD is still on Twitch. And during that character creation stream, we talked about our favorite wizards as like a little introduction thing. And before stream, I was like, do we want to do favorite wizards again? Do we want to do a different question? And Tadhg said, what if we all say our favorite tower? And I said, do we all have a favorite tower? And everyone said they could think of one. So that's what we're going to be doing. My favorite tower is probably the tower from... when you play the game Dread, the Jenga tower is referred to in the game as like the tower, and so that's probably my favorite tower. But with that, I'm gonna I think that's everything about me. I don't know. I always get so scattered when I have to introduce myself, so I'll throw it over to Tadhg so they can introduce themselves and talk a little bit about the game we're gonna play.
Hi, I'm Tadhg. I use they, them pronouns, and I wrote this game. It's called Wizard Pals. It's supposed to be as dumb as it certainly will be. So I think we're really going to nail a tone here tonight. You can get this game very easily, and that'll be in the chat and whatever, and we can talk about it more later. But it's a pretty breezy 14-page little PDF that's a whole-ass game all by itself. Here's the thing that I haven't bothered to say previously. The adventure we're going to be playing tonight is going to be after the stream released on the itch page for the game, so that if you like it and you want to run this game for your gaming group, you can run literally this adventure, and probably better than I can. So that's exciting. My favorite tower. I was excited about this one for reasons that'll become obvious very quickly. Because, well, not because. My favorite tower, I'm gonna go ahead and say, is the Tokyo Tower. I have never been to Tokyo. It's so important that you know that. It's not because I went there and I had like some sort of positive personal experience. It's because I've watched a lot of Japanese kaiju movies, and the moment you know everything is about to go really terrible is when Tokyo Tower is absolutely demolished. I watched a lot of anime in the 90s is the other thing, and so I have seen that tower destroyed countless times.
That's great. That's a good answer. Xavery, do you want to tell the chat about yourself? And also, we failed to do this, so I will do it at the top. Shout out to Peebs in the chat. Peebs!
Peebs!
And while I'm shouting people out, also shout out to newly mod, although someone who's been on chat a lot, Trollmila for the bits. Thank you so much for the bits before we even got started. But yeah, Xavery, do you want to introduce yourself to people?
Hi, I'm Xavery. Peebs is my sister, and she was very upset with us last time for not giving her a shout out on stream. So we got it done, top of the hour. And my favorite tower is, and I'm gonna argue that this counts as a tower, is Lucy the Elephant in Margate City, New Jersey. It's basically a just like a big elephant that they built somewhere close to the beach, and you can like walk inside it and go to the top, and they have like a little bedroom in there for some reason, and they do tours of it. And I think that if you're gonna make a tower, like an elephant shape is one of the best shapes it can be.
I'm not familiar with
That's-
that tower, and immediately after stream, I'm going to have to look it up because that sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Unassailable logic about the shape also.
Right, yeah. Who's next in the order? Josh, do you want to introduce yourself to folks?
Yeah, hello. I am Zay. My pronouns are they, them. I play a wide variety of RPG games, and as I said, I think way too much about wizards, so I'm so excited about this stream. My favorite tower, and this goes along with my favorite wizard from the last stream, is the Unseen Academy from Discworld. Which is just a wizard college built around a giant tower with a geography that just no longer makes sense as they add pieces to it. Just a perfect magic tower.
That is a good answer. I almost did the thing like they always do on Family Feud when someone says a terrible answer, the people in their family always go, good answer, good But you did not have a terrible answer. Just when I thought good answer, that was the sound effect that went off in my head. So good answer.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. Survey says.
Feel free to mock any other answers I have.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Jason, do you want to introduce yourself to the chat?
Hey, I'm Jason. My pronouns are he, they, or yeah, sure. And my favorite tower is called the Mysterious Tower from the Kingdom Hearts series. It is the tower owned by Master Yensid, who is a canonical Disney wizard. He's in the movie Fantasia. He teaches Mickey how to do magic. But in the context of the Kingdom Hearts games, he is a former Keyblade master. And if you want to become a Keyblade master, you have to go to his tower to learn things from him. And it's cool and mysterious and very badass.
I should have thought of a tower from Star Wars because you and Josh both came up with ones that were like related to the previous one, but it's too late. I already said my answer.
Well,
You could have made an argument for the Death Star, I think.
It's pretty round to be a tower.
I think towers could be round.
It's
It's
not
a
as
tower
good a
in
shape as
space.
an elephant, but we've established.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it is, but you know what? It does look like a moon, which is related to some stuff that is going to happen tonight, I'm sure.
But it is.
But before we get into that, I have one more piece of business to attend to. Oh, first of all, I need to do this. If you want to find any of these players anywhere else online, I just put links in the chat of their Twitters or other applicable pages. Also, you might notice that there is a tip reward command. Did I do the right thing? I think I did. Or is it rewards? I think it's tip rewards. I think I put the wrong command. Yes. If you want to affect the game tonight, as usual, we do have incentives for people to tip, and we do have a pretty juicy one tonight, which would be really fun if it happens. Also, the game will be fun if it doesn't happen. But if you want to contribute 200 bits, which is Twitch's currency, so there should be like a little thing at the bottom of your screen that looks like a little diamond in the chat. You can buy currency from Twitch. Or there is also a link to just my PayPal. So you could send just regular cash, or you could use Twitch's currency. Either way is fine. But for 200 bits or $2, you can choose a player and give them a reroll on a roll of their choice. For 500 bits, you can give each wizard a reroll. Or for $50 US, you can kill a wizard and in the process learn a secret about the universe. So if you really just are like, I want to be ultimately chaotic, I'm going to pay $50 and one of these wizards will die. And I think for $50 you get to choose which of the wizards you want to kill.
yeah, absolutely.
And also,
So maybe
yeah,
if there's just a wizard you like the least.
yeah, or like the most character growth, that can be an exciting moment. So obviously none of that is required, just people watching is amazing. But we like to have tip incentives, first of all, because it's more interaction with chat, which we don't get to do as much during tabletop games. And then also just an extra way to support the players tonight, because those tips will go to the participants. Savory, your sister said that you're lucky that she's poor. So, awesome. Well, I think now I'm gonna turn it over to Tadhg and relax a little bit, because I just get to be the player and I don't have to keep things moving.
Right. So, we begin Wizard Pals. A wizard, they say, arrives when they are needed. And in these days of darkness and doubt, you 5 wizards have arrived to brighten the world a little. Many weeks of travel and travail across the lands have led you at last to the grim dwelling of the one you all seek. Undertower, it is called. Though the true name of its dark denizen has been lost to time, you have all heard them simply called Never Was. Now, through your own desires, the things that you are all working towards, you all have your disparate reasons for seeking Never Was and Undertower. That shared goal has led you all to meet over the past few weeks. So you've been traveling together for a little while. And I think I would like to have each of you describe your wizards, and something to think about now, which I didn't warn you in advance you were going to do, is also describe some kind of mount that you think that your wizard would be traveling on. Why don't we go ahead and start with Taylor, if you could describe your character, please.
Yes. So, my character, I'm trying to think about her mount would be. I feel like starting with the mount is most interesting, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Speaking of heads, my wizard just has a big moon for a head. She is dressed in a very elaborate, like, Marie Antoinette style dress, with lots of, it's pink, like pink and white, lots of ribbons, very, very, very frilly. And I tweeted, because there's a like Planet Head like avatar kind of maker thing, so I tweeted of like a kind of version of this character, although I think the version on Twitter, the moon is separated, like it's floating, and I think my character's head is just like, you know, connected. Her skin is very like, I think the texture of like a pink Necco wafer, like very chalky looking, and her head is a very, very, very pale pink. And what else is interesting? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, she's super tall. I didn't say that during character creation, but I decided that she's probably like, I don't know, like 6'5" or something, like very, very tall, with a moon for a head.
How much of that is Moonhead, would you say?
A lot of it. I mean, the head is big. So
I'll keep that in mind for future doorways, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I think her mount is, I think you can't see her mount because it's under the dress. So it's something very, like some sort of animal that's like obviously pretty strong to be able to carry her, but also pretty compact, so you can't even see it. And it almost looks like she's just floating on this mount because it's just covered by this huge dress. And her name is Pammy the Pink.
Very good. Pammy the Pink, a red wizard, or at least a blood wizard.
Yes, yeah.
Also known as the Devourer of the Secret Flame. For reasons which maybe will come up. Maybe not. We'll find out. Why don't we then go over to Savory? Could you describe your character, please?
Yes. My wizard is named Vivienne the Violet, aka the Bringer of Those Who Wander. She is a ghost, and she's been a ghost for a little while now. And she's trying to use her powers of necromancy to bring herself back to life. And the kind of mount that she gets around on is like a little is like a gravestone, one of those like have arch ones, and you can ride it like a surfboard or like a boogie board, or like just sit on it like a carpet and like scoot around through the air.
Extremely cool. All right. Now, you're both so ridiculous. Who do I want to throw to next? Zay, why don't we go to you?
Yeah. Third in line. I think we'll just pan up from the mount, which appears to be like a plastic horse. Almost like a plastic horse toy that's been enlarged and biggened, if you will, to many times its original size. It's trotting along with a very herky-jerky gait, just very stiff movements. And riding atop it is a cloaked, behatted, dark figure. This is James the Grey, the banisher of the acid winds. James is covered in a big, dark cloak that covers all of its body. He's wearing just an enormous hat that creates a sort of shadow in front of her face that you just can't see their face at all. In fact, you can't see any of their skin. They're wearing like very chunky hand-sewn mittens underneath very big boots. But every now and then you get a glimpse of something underneath that looks humanoid for sure.
Very good. All right, Jason, explain yourself.
Hello, my name is Ruwala the Viridian, Weaver of Pandora, but my friends call me Ru. I am a green wizard. I was inspired to become a green nature wizard after taking wizard acid and seeing James Cameron's Avatar in theaters. So after that, I also spent a lot of wizard time and currency to get some body modifications done to look more like a Navi. So I'm blue and furry, and my neck's like a little elongated. And I'm currently riding a mountain banshee, a creature from Pandora. Of course, Avatar is a fictional movie, and no one knows where I got this mountain banshee. And when they ask, I don't tell them.
Perfect and beautiful and incredible. For anyone watching this in the chat right now, I want you to understand something. I'm about to say some high fantasy ass shit to you all. But yes, before you ask, James Cameron's Avatar does exist in this world. And no, I will not be taking any questions on the subject.
Wonderful.
The five of you, Pamipe, Vivian, James, and Ruala, are traveling together on an overgrown, cracked, and forgotten road that doesn't look as though it's been traveled in many years. You approach the secret location of Undertower, discovered weeks prior in your journey, in an ancient, dusty tome locked away within a lost and forgotten tomb beneath the last new moon. Ahead, you see an open chasm which extends for miles in each direction, an open wound upon the earth from which the Lords of Calamity first crawled into the blinding light of the living world. As your mounts break the dry, cracking, dead tree line, you can all see a narrow stone bridge with no railings, likely too narrow for your mounts to cross, which spans the entire chasm. In the very center of the bridge, there's a wider platform on which you can see what from here appears to be a small, cozy wooden cabin, smoke drifting up from its chimney. Glancing down into the chasm as you approach its edge, beneath the little platform, you see something which, in another place, would be impossible. A wide, round, tiered tower of bone-white stone hangs beneath the thin bridge. How it's connected to the bridge, what keeps it aloft in the vast chasm is inscrutable to you at a glance. But you know that you have found Undertower. And so, you approach the edge of this chasm. And wizards, what would you like to do?
This is such awesome narration. I feel like I'm just like imagining it.
Just take it in.
Yeah, I'm taking it in. I think I'm gonna look at James and say I have a real Josh and I came up with a really fun thing during character creation, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to establish this. So I think I'm gonna look at James the Grey and just say, do you think the mystical portal is inside, as we've heard?
Yeah, you see James kind of like puff up almost, like not in a straightening up way, but like almost as if like there's air being brought up underneath his cloak. And James responds, I think that would be too simple.
Well, I hope for your sake it is simple. And I'm just gonna like try to get closer to the tower.
All right, you're starting to head across the bridge then?
I think so, yeah.
All right, Pamape, you slide off your surprisingly tiny and sturdy mount, which disappears as the hem of your skirt kind of drifts over it.
I think it was like an exercise ball.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I mean, not actually an exercise ball, but I think that's like what it looked like.
I'm picturing full-on an exercise ball.
Okay,
Now,
an
so.
exercise ball.
Oh, yeah.
Pamape, you start crossing the bridge towards this bizarre little wooden cabin in the center, and you're kind of glancing over the edge, trying to be careful not to lose your balance, because again, there are no railings on this this stone bridge. And as you are looking at the tower, you're not seeing any supports. It just seems to be stuck onto the bottom of the tower, flat. And you're not seeing any doors on it. And even if there were, it's hard to say how you would get to them, unless you wanted to sort of climb under the bridge, somehow get from there to the edge of the tower, and then like reverse scale it, which I suppose you can give a shot if you like.
No, I don't want my dress to go up over my head, so I'm not going to be trying to.
Would be terribly embarrassing.
Yeah.
As you're getting a little bit closer to that cabin in the center, you hear this deep, bassy rumble every few seconds, followed by a high-pitched, very thin whistle, and then the rumble, and then the whistle.
I think I
Would
turn
I be
around and put my hands on my hips to look at the other wizards.
Would I be able to do a roll here to see what this is?
Sure, you can go ahead and roll against knowledge of sages if you would like to determine the source of this noise.
Okay, so for that I need to roll meet my number or roll under, yes?
Correct.
That's good for me. That's a 3. My target number is a 10, so I'm well under.
Yeah, you know what this thing is. You are listening for just a moment, and that sort of rhythmic rumbling followed by a whistle, followed by a rumbling. It's almost like stones kind of clunking together and then air sort of whistling between them, almost like a breeze through sharp rocks. And it sounds a bit unnatural, but it sounds like snoring to you, you realize. Something is asleep in there.
And this is coming. Go ahead.
This is coming directly from inside the little cozy cabin.
Where is the cozy cabin in relation to the tower?
Directly above it.
Okay, so there's the cozy cabin, the bridge that we're on, and then the tower below.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I believe whatever we seek is in the cabin.
James, you also get the impression, I mentioned that it sounds a bit unnatural, the snoring. It's almost like something mimicking snoring in a weird way, but yeah, there's a strangeness to it. It also sounds like whatever it is very big.
Also, I would be on guard.
Is there a way to like peek inside or just like?
There are some windows on the cabin. You can't really see into them from the edge of the bridge, so you'd certainly have to get closer, but there are windows on it, and there is a door on one side as well.
Okay, can I like float over and like take a peek in the window and see if I can see anything in there?
Sure. Vivian, you float over towards this cabin, and you kind of get down by one of the windows and peer in a little bit. There are curtains in there, but there's a little bit of a split at the bottom of the curtain. And you can just see a simple, the side and one leg of a simple wooden chair and what looks like a pile of just slabs of stone laid on top of it.
Okay. Guys, it looks like just a chair with rocks on top. At least that's all I can see. Why would you think a chair with rocks on top?
That is strange. Can I see how our mounts are like reacting to this loud snoring, this loud unnatural snoring?
The mounts are kind of staying back towards the end of the bridge, and they all, I say all, one of them is a medicine ball or an exercise ball. One of them is a tombstone, and yet there is still, they are animate at the moment. There is this nervous energy coming from the magic that powers these things, and the living, I'm looking at you, James, mounts that the other two of you are on, are acting skittish. Like they don't seem to be comfortable with being anywhere in this area. There's something about this chasm in general that is making them pretty uncomfortable, and the fact that there is a sort of ominous sound ahead of you is having them kind of want to back up.
Okay. Can I use my crane nature trick to speak to animals so that I can talk to my mount?
Absolutely.
Right. So I take my hair and connect it to the banshee's hair, and now we can communicate. I'm like, hey buddy, what's wrong?
It's really bad in there, man.
What is it? How can you tell?
I don't know. I got these weird cliff beast senses.
Okay. Do you think, does it seem like magical in there? Magic bad?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty freaking magical in there.
Freaking magic and pretty bad. Okay. Do you think there's any captive animals in there that need saving or anything like that?
I don't know. I'm just getting like a general vibe of stuff I do not like. Hey, your like whole deal about just like nature and the world and like this thing we've got going on and stuff. Your whole deal, it feels like the opposite of that in there. And so
So like industry and mistreatment of living creatures and
yeah,
plants.
probably.
That does sound bad. We should destroy it.
That makes sense. Yeah. I'm gonna stay over here, but I bet you've got this.
Sounds good. Thanks. Hey guys, I was talking to my my mount, and says it seems pretty bad in there. Magic kind of bad. Should I go ask my banshee what they think chair with rocks on it means?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. It seems like something someone would only do if they were trying to like pull a trick or like keep up appearances for some reason. They don't want that chair going anywhere, or they want someone to think there's someone sitting at the chair.
I think
Should we steal the chair?
We should just bust in there. I mean, we have 4 wizards here. That's certainly, I think we'd be hard pressed to find a foe that we couldn't deal with. We should just break the door down, knock over the chair.
It is that foolhardiness that is why you have not closed the portal.
I think you're under a little bit of a misunderstanding. I want to open the portal, and it's closed-minded people like yourself who want to keep it closed.
James sort of like tilts her head. There's a pause, thinking. I believe you will find it is you who are mistaken.
I highly doubt that. I'm like winding up my arm to punch this door down. I'm not doing it yet, but like as we're having this conversation, I'm just like, you know, cocking it back.
just ready to go.
Yeah, ready to punch.
I'm not gonna stop them. I'm already dead.
That's true.
You make a fair point.
Yeah, I'm in favor of this punching plan.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna
Great.
punch the door down. I think there is gonna be some, you know, can I make like an attack? I guess it's a, I was thinking arcane assault, but I don't know.
It's not really an attack because the door isn't really going to fight you back.
Oh yeah,
it would
that's
be.
right.
I would have you roll against your wizardly prowess to just sort of show your
Which
great
is
wizardly
also-
might. And
That's
not
fine,
go
that's
for
what I'm
that
good
door.
at. I'm good at wizardly prowess. Yeah, so I think, let me roll first and see how it goes. Yeah, I got it. That's a 6, and my wizardly prowess is a 2. And I'm needing to roll above, correct?
Yes. you wanna
Yeah,
roll
so
high
I
for
think
prowess.
there's like kind of fiery energy that like surrounds my hand as I just punch into this door to knock it down.
I'm sorry. Did you say what you rolled?
6, yeah.
And your target number
Is a 2, so I believe I succeeded.
Great. Yeah, so Pamape, you square up to this door and go, I think you're the one who's misinformed. And this burning pink energy surrounds your fist as you simply drive it into this wooden door, and the door shatters into splinters. As the door is simply demolished and these little shards of it go scattering around the room, most of them just sort of splash against this pile of stones in a chair that you can now see as a figure. There is what appears to be some kind of constructed stone giant sitting in the very center of the cottage, about 12 feet in height and about half as broad. It's hunched over to even fit in here. And it sits on this wooden chair, which is bending beneath its weight. The cottage is completely unadorned, other than the fireplace and the curtains. And you notice immediately that there is a wide trap door with a heavy iron ring handle that the chair is sitting directly on. And as these chunks of doors kind of break against this stone giant that's hunched over and making this snoring noise, the snoring stops. And the giant just sort of slowly lifts its head, and these little tiny eyes on its otherwise featureless face just sort of light up. And as it does that, you hear this voice go, "That was very rude."
I thought there was a dog stuck in here, and it's very hot out today. And so I thought I would punch the door open to make sure the dog was okay.
A dog in a cabin on a bridge.
Yes.
The giant lets out this massive yawn that you can feel reverberate in the air between you and it. And its head starts to sort of lilt forward again, and then it sort of snaps up. And it puts this massive finger, there are 3 fingers on each hand, and it puts one up in front of its lack of a mouth. And it goes, "You would do well to be quieter here. The librarians demand silence after all."
I like.
It sort of drifts forward again, and you see the little eyes just blink out. And the snoring sound starts again.
I was gonna usher them in, but I think I'll step out and say, it turns out that was actually some sort of stone giant thing. It wasn't really just a pile of rocks. I still think we could take it.
Did it seem like it wanted to fight?
No, but that seems like a bit of an advantage on our end, if we're thinking about it.
Always rushing into battle.
I mean, I'm certainly not a coward, if that's what you're implying.
They do this. Oh, God. Vivian, what do you think?
Maybe we could just talk and ask it how to get into the tower, right? Like it's.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should talk to it. You're already, you said you're already dead.
Oh.
And you ride around on like a rock, right? So you are already friends with rocks.
I guess that is a good point. So, can I kind of quietly go in?
Mhm.
Well, there's no door anymore, but I just want to
Yeah, you can just slide right in there. That's an open doorway now.
I'll go with you.
Okay, I'm gonna just tap on their shoulder, see if that'll wake them up.
You reach up with your spectral, floaty, purplish, smoggy hand, and you just sort of make yourself just corporeal enough to tap, tap, tap. Good morning.
Good morning. This is a lovely home that you have here. I was just wondering, my friends and I were trying to get into the tower. Could you let us in? Or...
the tower. And the giant's just sort of looks down between its own legs at the floor. Well, that would be a problem. You see, my chair is on top of the door to the tower, and I am not to move from this chair, and I am much too heavy for you. So...
You could always scoot the chair. Then you're technically still sitting in the chair. You're not moving from it, just scooting to the side.
That sounds like a wise technicality, but unfortunately I feel confident that if I were to do a little scooch, I would shatter this chair, and then I would have failed in my duty.
So who told you not to move from the chair?
That would be the creator.
The creator. How do we talk to the creator?
Well, you would need to go down into their tower, and it looks down between its legs again. Yes, the chair problem again.
Yeah, you see where we're at here with we need to get into the tower, and then you won't let us in the tower, but the only way we could talk to the person who told you not to let us in the tower is to get in the tower.
It's a real puzzler, that one. I think that might have been part of the point.
How long ago did the creator tell you to sit here?
It kind of leans back in the chair, which you can see just like flexes and creaks under it, and tilts its head up. Never been much good with time, but how do you measure time these days?
I think clocks usually.
Never had a clock.
Measure it in inches, midnights, sunsets, and cups of coffee.
My arm cocks back again.
Yeah, but at who? At Rue? At the giant?
Just in general.
Just as a reflex.
Yeah.
The giant, you guys get the impression that the giant is almost like a little bit confused by the question. It genuinely doesn't seem to have that good a sense of time.
When have you seen the creator with your eyes?
Only the ones.
And how aware were you of the idea that the creator created you, or did they just claim credit for creating you?
When I came into being, that was all I knew.
Interesting. And you feel comfortable with this, system of beliefs that you were born into?
It sort of like slowly nods its head and goes, "It is, after all, a comfortable chair."
If you're just like your whole deal is just sleeping, what if we made you a bed? Do you know what that is?
I have heard this word bed, however. I was instructed to remain in the chair.
I think at this point, James leans in from behind the door where, like, back outside, just kind of stiffly bends their head over and says, "Perhaps I could be of assistance." And I am going to go ahead and use my spell, I think.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So one of the options for the spell for the gray mist mages is to create an elaborate illusion that one creature can see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to point out to this stone giant that the chair that it's supposed to be sitting on is across the room.
Very, very good. James, you say this thing about perhaps you can be of some assistance, and the giant sort of slowly turns its head with the sound of grinding stone and locks its beady glowing eyes on the chair that you have created. It looks down and goes, "What am I sitting on? What happened while I was asleep? Oh, this is most embarrassing." And it slowly begins to stand up. And you can see bits of pebble and dust kind of breaking away from its form. It doesn't look like it has moved in a very long time. And as it stands awkwardly, barely able to fit in its own cabin, it takes a few steps and is across the room and slowly turns to go sit in the second chair. Very, very slowly.
Quickly now.
Yeah, it is not hurry and pop open that trapdoor.
Vivian, you lift up the actual chair, move it to the side, and with a tug, you pull that door open. Down below the door, you can see this long, dark stone shaft with a ladder that is down one side of it. You can't see exactly what is down there. You can see a little bit of light at the very bottom, though. And you head right in.
Is it big enough for all of our mounts to go? Or
It definitely isn't. No.
okay.
You
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that Pamape is gonna like just barely
Yeah,
be
I
able
was gonna say,
to
is my
hit her
head gonna
head
fit?
in the thing? Yeah.
While you're thinking about what to do, I'm gonna really quickly say, welcome raiders. Thank you, Wrath of the Badger, for the raid. Right now we're playing a game called Wizard
Hey.
Pals, which Tadhg here wrote. And we're playing some very goofy wizards. So welcome, and thank you for the follow, Wrath of the Badger. I just wanted to say that real quick because we have some new folks here. So far, you got pretty much came in for the most exciting part. We met a stone wizard and who wasn't going to let us into this upside down tower, but they just finagled, I think, their way. We're gonna get through. But yeah, back to you, Avery.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, I guess, glide down the ladder, take a
Right.
scout it out and see what's going on.
Vivian, as you are starting to disappear down beneath the now open doorway in the floor, the giant, which is still slowly lowering itself down, kind of locks eyes with you for a moment and goes, "Have a nice time down there. Do be careful and remember about the librarians." And you glide down. And as you are floating down this chute, you land very, very softly and find yourself in a labyrinth of tall bookshelves, which make up the library of Undertower. One can only guess at the ancient and potent secrets held in these greedily kept tomes. What are the rest of you up to? Are you following right away, or are you waiting for the...
I want to move the real chair, into where the illusion is so that it doesn't fall.
Great. You're gonna have to do that pretty quickly. So Rue, if you could go ahead and roll against wizardly prowess for me.
I got a 12, and my number's 3.
Okay. Absolutely. Rue, you can see that this thing's balance is just starting to go. And with the size that it is, you're pretty sure it would go straight through the wall if it tumbled backwards. So thinking very quickly, you snatch up that chair. And as their head is still kind of turned to one side, having been looking at Vivian just a moment ago, you go on the other side and just flawlessly and seamlessly slip that chair into place, and you hear it creak satisfyingly as the giant settles back into the chair, nods, and goes,
Yeah, this is
Thank
much
you.
better than what you were sitting on, right?
"Yes, it was uneven before. Sometimes it would shift just a little bit, and I don't have a matchbook or anything to sort of jam under there, you know."
Okay, maybe we'll pick up one of those while we're down there.
I'm gonna try to go down last, just in case my head doesn't fit through. I'll let everyone else
Okay,
go
if you don't want to
first.
jam a...
Yeah, I have a giant. For anyone just joining, I have a big moon head, humanoid body moon head.
Pamape, maybe if one of us is up here to push on the top of your head.
Oh
we
no,
can
I'd
push
prefer
you
if
through.
no one pushes the top of my head. Thank you.
That's where her soft spot is.
I still have my soft spot. What if I was canonically an infant?
And other than that, exactly the same. Yeah.
I don't want to be canonically an infant, but it would be funny.
Xavery, as you are, Vivian, as you are looking around, the library that you are in, aside from having just seamlessly endless bookshelves in all directions, which don't seem to be organized in a way that at a glance makes any real sense to you. You can see that the ends of a lot of these bookcases have these ornate relief carvings in them, of figures that actually look a little bit like the giant up above, but much smaller, much more slender, with much more delicate looking hands, in which you take notice of because they're all in sort of poses like that. Or sort of looking thoughtful, and
They're
it's
voguing.
they're kind of voguing, but like still and set into the ends of these bookshelves. So they are weirdly but fairly ornately decorated. And as you were looking around, you see only those things.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to where everyone's coming down the ladder real quick, just to like warn them that it's a library and that we have to be really quiet. Yeah, and I'm just like, come look at these statues over here and see how many of them were there.
You see on the ends of every single bookcase, which
lot.
are a lot of them. You see at least 2 or 3 carved into each bookcase.
Okay. Can I try to do anything to see if like one of them stands out to me, or if one is making like looks different than the others?
Sure. Go ahead and well, I'm not even going to have you roll for that. Yeah, you examine a few of them, and they all look identical. Like there are no features on any of them, except that all of them do have they don't have eyes, they don't have mouths. They do have a very simplified nose, and just on the bridge of that simplified nose, there are half moon glasses set with very, very delicate gold chains that go back around their necks.
Oh, guys,
All of
I
the
think
statues
these are
have
the
this?
librarians.
All of them have that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think by this point, James has like very slowly made her way down the ladder, very stiffly, and just turns to Vivian. I would be as quiet as possible. And James, I would like to go inspect the books if I can, see if I can tell anything about what types of books these are, or if they would give us any sort of clue.
Sure. James, could you go ahead and roll against knowledge of sages?
I certainly can. I just met my target number. It's a 10.
Hey, look at that. James, you go to inspect a couple of shelves, and you're trying to figure out how these are organized. It's certainly not any sort of alphabetical arrangement. You think for a moment maybe chronological, but that doesn't make sense. As you like move to another shelf, there seems to be no relation between the two, and it is it's bizarre. I mean, you simply don't know how you would find anything in here. After maybe your 4th or 5th shelf that you're just kind of scanning through some titles and things, you start to notice that some words in a long dead language that you recognize actually, and you realize that there is a commonality between a few of the books you were looking at. And you realize that you have found a shelf which has books that relate to gray wizardry, specifically your specialty. You're not sure even your fellow wizards, who know you pretty well at this point, would have noticed that similarity between them. And Yeah, this is a shelf about stuff that is your whole bag.
Interesting.
James, to peel the curtain back a little bit here, as you are looking at some of these books, one of them stands out to you in particular. You pull it off of the shelf and you flip through it, and it sort of unlocks in your brain all at once. Something that you knew was possible, but you didn't know quite how to accomplish with your magic before. And you gain a new spell.
Oh.
For having a new spell, for those of you who haven't played this game before, anytime you cast your signature spell, you have to do a roll after. Which reminds me, actually, James, you did roll your signature spell before, and we haven't done a roll for it.
I did roll, and I rolled a 7, unfortunately. So
a 7, not quite high enough. So until you rest, you cannot use that spell again. However, this spell that you learn does not replace that. It has its own, like, you would roll to regain it. So you will be perfectly able to use the spell. And what this one gives you, you now know how to make one creature forget about your last interaction with them completely.
Oh. Perfect.
I think as I'm coming down last, I think I want to look around for books specifically about the mystical portal.
Okay.
And see if there's anything related to that here.
Can you go ahead and roll against Knowledge of Sages?
Yes. So I have to get a 1 or a 2.
Hmm.
And I do not, in fact, get a 12.
Yeah.
I have an idea
about as far as you can get.
for how this fails that I can pitch. I think I find a book about it. And then I think that I see James looking in my direction, and I immediately incinerate it in my hand so that James won't be able to use it. Because I do have as my trick, I can create a small flame. So I set it on fire.
Penelope, you burn this thing to ashes in your hand with a subtle little sort of noise. As you do that, and you...
Oh, no.
I mean, you don't have eyes, but if you did, they'd be locked with James's also lack of eyes. I get to say the best sentences because of this game.
You're welcome.
In a moment, that book is gone, and you look over towards James. And as you look away from your momentary research, you take notice of a little bit of movement in this room as the heads of a number of these carvings all turn towards you. And you can see that every single one of them that turns towards you lifts up a hand, and you hear this very, very quiet, but from all directions, shh.
So creepy. That's really good.
Yeah, if there's one thing librarians don't like, it's when you burn a book.
And it makes a noise? That's all their least favorite thing.
Hey, it maybe
Very-
depends
yeah.
on the book. Come on. There's got to be some books.
I want to, I'm still on the lookout for this ancient riddle, so I want to see if I can find maybe, like, the oldest books that I can.
Okay, go ahead and roll Knowledge of Sages.
Oh, I got a, oh, that's good. I got a 5, and my target is a 9.
Oh, great. Vivian, while this is all happening, you're trying to ignore the creepy librarians. That's a distraction you want nothing to do with. You start looking around for the oldest scrolls and tomes that you can find in here. And again, the organization is inconsistent at best, and it's hard to say if there is any kind of consistency. However, you do find this one shelf on a large case that it's a bit high up, and you have to kind of like float up to it to be able to see the books themselves. And there are a number of tomes all in a row that they look like if you handled them too roughly, they would crumble. And you start reading the spines of them for these ancient titles that are in a few different languages, and some of it seems related to the types of secrets you're hoping for. And as you're going through, I'm going, okay, that might be maybe this one. You come to an empty spot in the shelf. There's a book that would go here and is missing.
Okay. And I can't like figure it out from the books next to it because there's no
Here's
like,
what I'll say,
context.
Vivian. You're not merely a person in a library. You are a wizard searching for lore. And as you extend your consciousness into the space around you, there is this signature, there is this feeling in that spot. These books may have been written around the same time. They may have been written by some of the same authors. They are related, but something that you were looking for was here.
Okay. Is there any way that I can do kind of like a tracking, like at least to see where like it could have gone or like how long ago it was there?
I'll say this. I mean, you already successfully rolled your knowledge of sages. I'm not going to make you roll a million times here. As you are looking closely and kind of feeling focused in on that book was important to me, and it's not here. You can see that there is dust on these shelves, and it has been disturbed in that spot. So you get the impression that whatever book was here was pretty recently taken out. Doesn't look like anything's damaged, just looks like it was taken from the shelf and brought elsewhere. And it's not a wild jump of reason to assume that just somebody lives in this tower, took out a book.
Someone has it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I want to look for books about magic gardening or magic terraforming.
Absolutely. Can you please roll against your knowledge of sages for me?
Yeah, this is... I got a 6. I needed a 3 or lower.
So you are looking through these books, looking for something that feels kind of relevant to your interests, and nothing. It's almost annoying to you a little bit that you wouldn't be able to easily find kind of a gardening section in here. What kind of jerk has all of these books? And I mean, of course, this evil tower and an evil chasm around which nothing will grow. It seems to make sense to you in a way that you do not like, but you are not finding anything that seems up your alley, so to speak.
Yeah, the paper from these books was probably made from the trees and that inhabited this chasm beforehand.
Stands to reason.
Okay, but I very much do not light anything on fire.
Well, it's... I hate to toot my own horn, but it's kind of my ability, so...
Yeah, not only can't I, not only won't I physically can't, even if I could.
Yeah, all right. So a couple of you have found some interesting things, and the carvings in these shelves are paying attention to you. You now know.
I put the pile of ash that's in my hand back onto the shelf where the book was.
Yeah, sensible.
Okay. Then I guess I just very quietly look for like a door or an exit from the library.
Sure. Vivian, could you do another Knowledge of Sages for me? As you're looking around this space, I mean, truly, these shelves are maze-like.
I got an 8, and my target is a 9. So.
Great. As you are drifting between shelves, you get a pretty good idea, and you just sort of float yourself upwards. You give yourself a good vantage point, and you can see it might be a little annoying to get between all of those shelves, just because they do twist and have some dead ends. But you have seen the path. There is an open arched doorway on one side of this massive library, and you know how to get there.
Okay. So I kind of try to like silently as I can like go to like float over to everyone and like be like this way and like kind of feel like I found the exit.
Vivian, I appreciate your forward thinking. You're really just leading us right through this place.
Pamape, as you speak.
God damn it, Pamape.
I was talking so quietly!
You gotta tell me when you're doing a stage whisper there, Taylor.
Well, okay. I want the chat to be able to hear what I'm saying.
Hey,
But that's
look,
fair. I'm not quiet. I'm not a quiet person.
As you speak up just a little above the tiny whisper that you might have needed here, you can see that several of these figures sort of just like release themselves from the ends of the bookshelves, and they just start walking with purpose towards you.
I look at them and I go to my non-existent mouth.
Here's the thing. Fully silent, every one of them.
Oh, we should go. We should go.
Time to go.
I think we can talk normal now because they're coming towards us, but we should leave.
Ruala, as you speak up, a number of them kind of like turn their heads towards you, and as these librarians start swarming out of all of these alleyways and corridors of bookcases, about half of them are moving towards Pamape, and about half of them are moving towards you.
All right, I'm gonna run towards the exit.
All right. Can I get... Why don't we just, since Ruala said the thing, why don't you roll for the group? See how this goes. Roll wizardly prowess for me, please.
can I use my trick here as a gray mage to move without sound?
Absolutely, you can. Ain't none of
Nice.
these librarians
Smart.
paying attention to James at all.
James just sort of like lifts a finger up and quietly drifts off to the side, following Vivian.
I rolled a 4. I needed a 3 or above, so I got it.
You got it. Great. Okay, Ruala, as James and Vivian very quietly like drift away and just kind of like dodge between, you and Pamape just make a break for it instead, kind of trying to go in the same direction. And as they get close, they're not moving very quickly, but as they get within a few feet of you, these librarians will like lunge at you and try and like grab you, a couple of them at a time. And the two of you are just dodging under their hands, sliding between their legs, using your magic to just sort of, bring, in your case, vines up out of the ground, despite it being stone, to tangle them as they try and grab you. And they cannot actually get a hold on you. You follow the other two and find yourselves at the doorway.
Good. I think as I'm running away, I say, "Books suck. Watch a movie." And the movie should be Avatar. It'll change your life.
Can you give me, just for fun, can you give me one more wizardly prowess roll?
Okay, I got an 11.
An 11. Damn. Okay, as you as you say that right before you go through this doorway, you look at one of these stone librarians in particular, and it kind of stops in its tracks and looks down thoughtfully, puts its hands on its hips, as though it's really thinking something over. reaches to the nearest bookshelf, pulls one off of the shelf, and just throws it on the ground in disgust. As it hits the ground with a loud thud, a bunch of the librarians turn towards it, and they're shushing each other now. And in the chaos, you escape through the door.
Cool. I think I do pull out. I know we didn't say I had these in my inventory, but I think I have a number of copies of Avatar on Blu-ray. So I just kind of toss it at that librarian who I have convinced.
Give me 1 second. Somedamn Smith, did you want to give someone a reroll? Because I was seeing it as, like, advantage, kind of. But I think you wanted Jason to have to reroll to fail. I think is how I'm interpreting that. Which, I mean, I feel like I was vague, so... But I'm not sure if that's what you meant or not.
Yep,
Yeah,
wanted to fail.
Wanted it to fail. What do we think, folks? Do we want Chat to be able to just force us to re-roll rolls, or do we want to keep it as, like, we choose when the re-rolls are? Because I was not entirely clear, I feel like, with Chat.
Honestly, I like that as a chaotic element of this. It feels mean.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you,
I feel like I should just fail. Like, if people pay money and they want me to fail, I feel like, because the odds are I'll probably pass again just based on my numbers, but
Yeah,
someone gave us money.
tell you what, if you want to just like take that failure and fuck this up, I think more power to you.
Books suck. Watch a movie.
That librarian still kind of pauses, thinks the thing over, pulls a book off the shelf, turns towards you, and hurls it at you. Will you go ahead and roll your Enchanter's Aegis, please?
Okay.
All of us do also have a reroll to bank, I believe, thanks to Realist Mogul. Thank you so much for the 500 bits.
How does this one work again? What do I need to beat?
So you're going to roll your d12, and you're going to add the bonus to your Enchanter's Aegis, which might be a minus.
Okay. So you're setting the DC? Or...
Yep, I've rolled for what that's going to be.
Right, okay. I got a 10.
You got a 10. So this librarian just wings this book at you, and you see it coming, luckily, and you twirl your long braided tentacles that you have had painstakingly added to your body, and whip it out of the air, and it crashes to the ground, and the same more or less chaos ensues. But you know deep in your heart that that librarian is never going to watch your beloved Avatar by James Cameron.
Dang it.
Do I also need to roll something? Because I think Jason's rolling for both of us.
Jason was rolling for when you were escaping.
Okay.
I forced another roll for trying to for convincing a magical stone librarian to give up on books and check out James Cameron's Avatar.
And then the gods decided that...
Okay. I lost track of what.
Or
was being
literally,
re-rolled,
my brother
so.
decided in this case.
Also, while we're breaking, thank you all so much for the hype train, and thank you, Dreamy, for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. But yeah, sorry, I don't like to break up too much, but since we were already talking about doing the next thing,
yeah,
I'll do that.
All right, you escape the Library of Undertower. Some of you with a little more information than you came in with, which is what you want from a library, in my experience. You exit through that open stone archway and head down these curving stairs. You can feel that this curving staircase sort of like tightens up a little bit as it goes, and you can tell that you are descending these tiers of Undertower as you go. You find yourself in another fairly large chamber, not nearly as large as the library itself. Pretty simple, no real decoration, stone floor, stone walls. Across the way, you can see another open archway just right in front of you. In the center of the room, you see two large black cauldrons nestled into braziers, which burn a constant dull blue, despite no obvious fuel for the flames. One cauldron is filled with a dark blue-black liquid, which bubbles thickly and emits a heavy, sweet smell. The other is filled with a bubbling clear liquid, which smells a little sour and acidic. Each cauldron has a large curved ladle hanging from a hook on the side, and there are small carved stone cups set on a small table in between the cauldrons. On the far wall, like I said, there is that open doorway. So, you enter in the room, you're out of a doorway, there's another doorway directly across from you. In between you and that doorway are these cauldrons.
Well, real quick, can we just check and see if the door is open on the other side?
Yeah, it's
Why
fully
not?
just an open thing. You just kind of skirt around the edge, kind of glancing at these cauldrons for a moment, and you kind of peek your head down to peer down into that open doorway, and you can see a very similar staircase leading down.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think? Should we mess with the cauldrons or just leave it and keep going?
Cauldrons seem more like witch stuff, to be honest. I am whispering still. I mean, I guess now, because I wasn't before.
Always too late to learn your lesson.
I mean,
Oh, are there strong distinctions between witches and wizards in our world? I didn't pay attention in college.
There are some distinctions between the two. You've probably all met witches here and there. Witches don't usually hang out in towers, so that part makes it seem less witchy. Cauldrons, yeah, kind of witchy. But there's some overlap for sure.
Does anyone know about potions? I'm not really a potions person.
I don't. Vivian, when you drink things as a ghost, sorry if this is offensive, but like, if you drank alcohol, would you get drunk?
That's very offensive. I won't answer that.
You know what? I feel like you've kind of been the canary in the mine for a lot of this trip. I'm not going to make you drink these weird liquids in a
Don't
cauldron.
have a body.
I am just curious of how that would go. All right.
I'll drink it.
You don't have a mouth.
James
No, you
has
don't
like
know what I
wandered
have
over.
and don't have.
I think you said earlier you don't have a mouth.
I've said nothing of the sort.
Am I the only one with a mouth, like a tangible mouth here?
I already said you don't know. Anything could be under this dress. You don't know.
Oh,
Wild
yeah, you're
how
right.
loud she is without a mouth.
Yeah, I assume you've got like a speaker system somewhere.
It's a very, again, offensive assumption to have made. Why would I have a speaker system instead of a mouth? Some of us just don't go showing our mouths around all willy-nilly. But you don't see
Hey,
me
I paid a lot
saying
for this
anything-
mouth. I think we should take some of the liquid, even if we don't drink it right now.
Well, yes, while the other wizards are all squabbling, James is going to like walk over to the cauldrons and inspect them and see what he can find out.
James, would you roll knowledge of sages for me, please?
I really would. That is a 3 and my target is a 10. So
Great.
well,
You look at these two bubbling liquids in these cauldrons, and you recognize this. This is what these two cauldrons are full of. What's called a catalyst potion. And essentially, the thing that you know about them is that individually, the contents of these two cauldrons don't do anything. Pretty much completely inert. You could drink them and be fine. They would maybe taste good, maybe taste bad. The point of a potion like this is that they're kind of specific to whoever made them a little bit. And so no two sets of catalyst potions are exactly the same, but the thing that's handy about them is that if you know the proper proportions, you can mix some of them and get endless numbers of different effects out of them. Unfortunately, you do know that if you're not the one who made a catalyst potion, you know that it's a little bit of a crapshoot, as far as like what exactly the effect would be. You know that like you have a pretty good shot if you're up on this sort of knowledge of getting something positive happening, broadly speaking, but the specifics of that little unclear. However, if you really mess up your ratios, you can get some pretty nasty effects from these things.
I've thought worse. And James is just going to mix them together and
Hell yeah.
in whatever seems the best ratio.
Give me another knowledge of sages roll, my friend.
All right. Ooh, that one is a 10, just to meeting my number.
Just meeting your number. Okay. Can you please, for me, just roll your d12 and tell me the number?
Yes.
Did anyone
That
notice
is a 4.
earlier she was acting like I was stupid, and now, as soon as no one's paying attention, there they are, mixing the potions together.
Seems like they know what they're doing.
James, you feel something in the air around you. You feel an awareness of the space that you have never quite felt. And deep within you, you feel your third eye opening, which is weird because you don't have the first or the second.
Right. Not required.
And beneath the shadow of James's hat, you can all see that she has this glowing eye open in what might be where a forehead is on their form.
That better not be the mystical portal.
It's clearly an eye, and not only that, James, it is locked onto whatever you most want in this room. Now, you might not want particularly anything in this room, but that just means it's kind of looking around. And mechanically, the next time you roll Knowledge of Sages, there's going to be a -2 to the number that you roll.
Oh.
I mean, I see James's third eye open, and I'm like, now we have to watch Avatar. You just mix some. Can I buy some tabs of what you just made?
Of course. And James will just like hold out what's left in the cup.
Thanks. I'm sure it's not enough to mechanically do anything, but I'll just pocket it.
All right, you just pocket a whole cup with some remnants of liquid in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to try to do the exact same. I kind of want to try a different mix and see if something different happens.
Yeah. Vivian, if you would like to get in there and try out these potions, go ahead and give me a Knowledge of Sages roll.
It seems harmless.
2.
2. Very nice roll. Can you go ahead and similarly roll a d12 and tell me what number is on your die?
1.
A 1.
Oh no. they're last.
Here's the thing.
It's always great when your GM starts laughing at your roll.
Here's the thing. It's not even really at your roll. I'd have laughed at almost any of these.
Okay.
This is one of the weirder things I've written in a while. Vivian, God, you don't have a corporeal body too. This is so funny. One, you are still kind of like generally in a humanoid arrangement as a ghost, right? So one of these sort of misty, see-through purple parts of you, deep in your spectral being, just increases in size, and it's as though this part of you changed shape, like as if you had a body, and the muscle mass, the non-corporeal muscle mass in that part of your body increases by 5 times, but just that one part. So whether that be one of your arms, one of your legs, just like your neck muscles, is just suddenly jacked. And it looks a little weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. You should go ahead and feel free to decide which part of you is now buff as hell.
Oh man. Like, I do want one just really strong arm.
Hell yeah.
But there is a moment where I considered what if I just had a really fat ghost ass?
Please.
That's on the table.
I'm just imagining you're facing us and it looks like nothing's changed, and then you're like, all right, let's go. And you
I turn around.
I want to be clear about, I said a specific number. Your spectral ass would be 5 times more powerful.
Fat, yeah, on my fat shit, right? That's what you meant?
Yeah.
Is that what you
100%.
wanted, Tadhg, when you wrote these rules?
Is that what you were picturing?
Hey, not specifically, but
Oh my gosh.
well, so mechanically, and this is fun to think about, I think, for all of us. You're 5 times more incredible than ever before ass. Now gives you a +2 on your next wizardly prowess roll.
As it should be.
That's so good. I almost feel, I don't think that I want to do a potion. I don't think I can top that.
Yeah, I don't either. But you guys said that individually these liquids are harmless, right?
I believe so.
I'm just gonna take some of the blue one and touch up some of my fur dye.
Very good.
Wait. Hang on. So what you're telling me now, Jason, is that you had fur painstakingly grafted onto your body to look more like an Avi. But you have to dye it blue?
Yes. So it was just blue fur material, but over time it fades because it's not like a natural, there's no natural blue fibers, I think. So it uses dye, and then with all my adventuring, the dye gets washed out.
Gotcha.
So I gotta touch it up, and I, Jason, am sweating off the makeup. So
All right. Does anyone else want to try and make themselves a potion?
No, I'm in awe. I'm in awe of the previous results.
All right.
This is very interesting results. Yeah, I want to see the other 10 results, but I don't even think I'd get that far.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is if we have to roll wizardly knowledge of sages, right?
Yeah, I want to see
yeah.
the 10 results. I don't want to see what happens when we fail.
Yeah, yeah, because I think I would not do so good.
I do though. Does that matter at all? I'm just curious.
All right,
It's fine if it doesn't.
put it
but I
on
know.
my fur, and then I'm like, all right, let me give this a shot.
You don't have to at all.
Let
You
me
so
take a
don't have
shot.
to.
No, I feel really, just since now I look younger, now that I've re-dyed some of my fur, I'm feeling really invigorated. Okay,
I think James is like has moved to the other side of the cauldrons and is like bartending for this. So like has a ladle in each hand and is like, if they had a face, there would be like an inviting look on their face.
If
As
you
it is,
want-
it's just the eye like moving between the two of them.
If you want James to make this roll, they can totally bartend for you.
But then we won't get to see what happens when I fail. And I also rolled and failed already.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your die for me.
Okay. But yeah, maybe James can make one for. Well, I guess Pam and Pei wouldn't want James to do that.
No, I certainly would not.
I don't know where my die went.
Oh no!
Okay.
It's too powerful.
I got a 10.
A 10. Interesting.
Your butt shrinks by 5.
By
No.
5 times. Not quite that. Rue, you drink it. You wait a moment, waiting for something to happen. All of a sudden, you can feel your head just kind of like leaning to the left a little bit. And you feel your bones shift in a weird way. And out of your right shoulder grows a second head, which also has blue Navi fur, and looks identical to your original head. And it comes out and goes, ah! And it looks at you and goes, it's a horrible dye job.
Oh. Hey, whoa. Uncalled for.
That's quite rude.
Oh, why did you... You're not good at this kind of thing. Why did you drink this?
Okay, so that answers the question. I couldn't tell if this was good or bad that this happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have a name?
What's your name?
Rue.
Rue, I'll be 2.
That works really well. And you're pretty chill, right? You're gonna be a good body mate.
Yeah, that seems like it's what's happening here for sure, Rue.
Okay, guys, this is my other head too. They seem really nice.
I have my hand on my
Meet you
sword.
too.
Rue, the next time you roll to do a magic, you're gonna have a -2 to your roll.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
All right. Are we all set in this potions room, wizards?
Yeah.
All right. The strangeness of this room you begin to leave behind. Some of you with odd but useful boons, and one of you with a thing that it's hard to say exactly what you're going to get out of this one way or the other. And you head towards the open archway on the other side of the room and head down the stairs, which tighten up even more as you descend into a lower tier of Undertower. And that, I think, is the perfect time to take a break.
Awesome.
Awesome. For anyone who is just joining, welcome. Let me do some quick shout outs because a lot happened while we were playing. So let me just go through. We did get a raid, which I, kind of briefly welcomed folks in. Realist Mogul, thank you so much for all the bits. We have some extra help on some of these rolls. Some damn Smith had the instant reroll. Melanie contributed some bits. Dreamy gifted a sub. We had a hype train, which was awesome, and Goblin Girl Gaming also tipped some bits. While we are on break, I believe I set this up correctly. Something that I didn't announce until just now, announced it on Twitter. I'm going to be giving away 2 copies of Wizard Pals. So if you are really enjoying this game and want to play it for yourself, I'm giving away 2 PDFs of it. All you have to do, I believe, is type Wizard Pals, all one word, in chat, and you'll be entered. And if you are a subscriber, you're a little bit more likely to win, just as a thank you to any subscribers in chat. So we'll be doing that from now until the end of the stream, so you'll have time to enter, and I will pull those winners at the end of the stream. But for now, we are going to go for I say 10-minute break. It's 8:10 right now, so we'll be back at 8:20. And while we're on our break screen, I'll have some images up on screen with some more information about our players today. And we'll be back with you very soon. And now I'll wave goodbye. Felicitations, adventurers! We're back with some more Wizard Pals. My name is Taylor. I am usually the person who is DMing or GMing here on Roll for Felicity, but today I have shirked my duty and gotten someone else to do it and run their game, which has been buckets of fun so far. But before we get into that, I have a few things related to the stream to talk about. First of all, we have some exciting stuff coming up in August. I don't have firm dates set yet, but I believe we're going to be playing the 4th game in our Mouse Ritter series, which is a series of one-shots, so they're all connected. But for the most part, you can watch one and understand what's going on. The last one we did end on a bit of a cliffhanger. So, but that's what we'll be picking back up with. And Goblin Girl Gaming, who's in the chat, is one of the players in that Mouse Ritter one shot. And then also we'll be continuing our Good Society playthrough, which Avery and Tadhg are both in. So we'll be doing that at some point in August. And then even most nebulously of all, because I don't even have players lined up yet, I'm planning to play a game of Power Outage, which is a superhero themed tabletop RPG. It's probably the end of August, but like I said, I don't have dates for any of those. And then in between those things, I have been playing Phoenix Wright on Tuesdays in the evening. And on Wednesdays, starting next week, I'm going to be working my way through some tabletop like workbook kind of things. And I think I'm gonna be calling it Game Master Helper, which is kind of like a, hamburger helper, where like you bring what you have to the table and I'll give you, some tips to to boost it up a little bit, some pasta, some seasonings, whatever is in those boxes. And also for this stream particularly, I'll say this before I turn it over to the rest of my compatriots. We are doing a giveaway, so if you type Wizard Pals into chat, I'm going to be giving away 2 PDF copies of Wizard Pals, the game that we're playing right now. And also, even if you already have a copy, because I know a lot of people in chat do, if you already have a copy, feel free to go ahead and just type Wizard Pals into chat, and you can gift it to someone else that you know who plays tabletop RPGs. And if you are a subscriber to the channel, just as a thank you for, giving me money, essentially, you are a little bit more likely to win. So, keep that in mind as you're entering. And while we're talking about money, I'm always talking about money, we do also have some tip incentives. Tadhg, I feel like my approach to streaming is like, if I'm going to talk about money, I'm just going to say like, I'm talking about money. So your laughter, I feel like if I'm going to be, if I'm going to be a cash grab, I'm just going to say it's a cash grab.
Listen, if you're gonna be a capitalist shill, you just gotta lean in sometimes.
Listen, I'm a shill, but I'm not a capitalist. I do not own any sorts of means of production. But anyway, if you would like to tip our performers tonight, we do have some incentives for that. So for 200 bits, you can give someone a reroll, or maybe, depending on our mood, force someone to reroll. We've kind of done both. For 500 bits, you can give everyone a reroll, so that makes them more likely to succeed on things. And for $50 US, you can kill a wizard, which I feel like, you can just tell people that. Like, you don't have to say what was going on. Like, you can just, like,
you don't have to mention that you were in a Twitch stream.
Right, you don't have to do that. You can just say, like, by the way, everyone, I've killed a wizard. And it will be up to them to figure out what that means. So let me put that. So you can either use Twitch's currency, which is bits, which you can purchase by clicking that little diamond button in the chat. Or you can click on that little link that says Streamlabs Roll for Felicity to go directly to PayPal. Mason chat says, will murder for cash. Also, thank you, Goblin, for hanging out. I just thought that you said they're gonna bounce. But yeah, I think that is it for my little mercutial, is that a word? Ways. And I'm going to turn it over to Tadhg to talk about, I mean, honestly, one of the ways you can give them money.
Yeah, I made fun, but I'm about to talk about fully 2 separate ways you could give me money.
Yeah.
Hi again. Great start. We're playing a game that I wrote. It's called Wizard Pals. It's up on my itch.io page. Let's see, the price was different yesterday because of reasons, but today it's $5. And if you've been watching this and you want a copy and you aren't gonna end up getting one of the giveaway copies, yeah, it's just $5. And it also is going to get updated with a copy of the adventure that we're playing tonight, which I kind of codified and made a little bit easier for people who don't live in my brain to run. So there's that. I also, as of yesterday and through the end of this month, am hosting a whole bundle of games on itch.io called Tabletop Games for Wizards. It's $20 for 21 supplements and games and settings by some very cool designers who I feel very lucky to have gotten to get to know a little bit better and do some work with. So you can find that on my itch.io page as well. I should have grabbed a link for that at some point, and I didn't. And that's fine.
You can get to it through the
Perfect.
link. Yeah, like the link I have in chat is specifically for Wizard Pals, but if anyone's not familiar with Itch, if you click on that, you can click on Tag's profile and see things there, right? Is it on there?
Yeah. I also, you can follow me on Twitter to find all of this information anyway. I'm at Tadhg the Bard, which is probably in chat somewhere.
Yes.
And I've just thought of a third way you could give me money, which is a separate bundle of games that Wizard Pals is currently connected to. And if $20 is a little too rich for your blood, that one is only $10 for 10 games by, again, some amazing designers who I was so excited to do stuff with. And that's called the Hot One Shots bundle. Every game in there is just perfect for a quick game when you need something that's not going to be a huge bit of setup. And as the organizer Kat Elm put it earlier today or yesterday or something, it's perfect for finding ways to just sort of fuck about for 4 hours or so.
Something we all need.
Truly.
Awesome. Let's see. How are we gonna do it this time? Jason, do you want to reintroduce yourself and let people know where they can find you, and you know, if applicable, how they can give you money? I don't think that you've submitted anything to me, but you know, if you have anything going on.
Yeah, my name's Jason. You can find me on Twitter at Warlock Trash. I don't have anything where you can like directly give me money except for a Venmo account, and you don't need to Venmo me. But I do sometimes do some editing work for a publisher called Malarkey Books, and you can go to their website and I'll find the URL and put it in the chat at some point. But you can go there, look around. They have a bunch of zines and a couple of novels and short story collections that you can purchase. And I've done some editing and reading selections for those guys.
Awesome. Josh, how about you? Where can people find you? And if applicable, how can they give you money?
Yeah, I don't have any way that people can give me money right now, which means they should have extra money to give to Taylor or Tadhg, or any of the cool bundles mentioned. which you should absolutely do. I've played like half a game now, and I can already say Wizard Palace is just fantastic. It is so much fun. You should absolutely do it. Yeah, if you do want more of me, you can follow me on Twitter at WildJBlue. Put up my thoughts and opinions there. Any announcements about things like this that I am doing, go up there as well. And then for my last pitch, because I've mentioned it as both of my answers to the questions, Discworld. Go read Discworld. Or if you, like Rue, don't have time to read a book, you think books suck, there are a couple of movies, and those are actually pretty decent adaptations. So, like, yeah, go do it.
Yeah. And Zafri, where can people find you? And I guess the new question I'm asking, how can people give you money if applicable? I guess that's the new thing I'm doing.
I'm Zafri. I'm also at Zafri on Twitter. You don't have to give me money. I don't. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I just bought special Joy-Cons for my Switch, and that was a waste of money. Don't give me money.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
Very, very good use of money.
And yeah, I would just like to say hi to my sister who's watching Peeps.
Peeps!
And I want to say thank you to my mom for learning how bits work on Twitch because she wanted to participate.
That's so nice. I wonder, I was like this, I think this is someone related to Savory, but that's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Man.
That's very sweet. There's one last thing that I will say, because I forgot to say at the beginning, and Melanie has done it a couple of times, is if there's something that's like really funny or like a good moment that you think is happening, Twitch has a thing that you can make clips, but it's a little bit clunky. It's not always the easiest to do, especially if you're on mobile. So if there's something that's like a good moment that you're like, oh, this should go on TikTok or on Twitter or something like that, you can just type !marker into chat. And if you want a description of whatever the thing is that's happening, and that way after the stream is over, I can go back to like these moments that it's like, oh, this person thought this was funny, which is a great boon to me. So if you don't want to give me money, you can leave markers in the chat to let me know how I can entice other people to give me money, I guess. is what I'm motivated by. But with that, I think I'll turn it back over to Tadhg so they can let us know what are we looking, what's happening next. We're halfway through a dungeon.
All right, Wizards, just a few moments ago, you left a room which contained 2 catalyst potions, from which a few of you got some random effects. Most notably to me, perhaps, is the fact that Rue has grown fully a second head, which is criticizing their every move. The moment you start going down that spiral staircase, Rue, to your new head, turns to you and goes, "You walk downstairs like this?"
Wow, I never really thought about how I walked downstairs before.
Maybe you should try thinking about it.
What's wrong with the way I'm doing it?
Oh, God, you just look like such a nerd.
Oh, okay.
As you just kind of accept that tragically, 2 kind of just starts muttering to themselves and says, "Wonder if I can get control of these feet."
Oh no.
I think you look like a nerd. I remember what it was like to walk downstairs.
Thanks, Vivian. That means a lot.
It is harder than it looks.
James sort of clatters awkwardly nearby on the stairs.
It is like kind of a hop, like drop down to each step, just very awkward, like one leg out, leaning forward onto it.
And as you all reach the bottom of these stairs, you descend for what seems like a half hour more. Has it been a full hour? It's hard to say. Time seems to at once go slower and be happening all at once, and you feel a little disoriented as you reach a landing, which is very dark around you, and there is an open doorway. As you look into this doorway, you see something more like a living space. It is comfortably adorned. It has windows, small bookshelves, some comfortable looking seating. As you get closer to this doorway and can see the full scope of the room, over on one wall, you see notably a wide, bright silver basin filled with crystal clear water and a tall, ornate mirror on the wall directly behind it. Strange thing you notice right off the bat is that the floor here is made of packed earth, where everything else has been carved stone. This is hard packed dirt. Notably as well, sort of central to the room and ahead of you, there is a tall backed, imposing seat facing the doorway through which you are entering. In it sits a tall, thin figure, a leering, toothy smile across an almost skeletal face. Just below, a shadow cast by a wide-brimmed black hat. They sit with their legs crossed and their gloved hands folded atop their knee. And you hear a voice, which clearly comes from the figure's mouth and yet seems to come from the walls. The hour grows late, wizards, and I do not much care for guests these days. As they speak, they reach one hand into one of their long black sleeves and produce a long, elegant feather, which they hold delicately between their thumb and forefinger. Taylor, just for your edification, there is a relevant image on page 11 of Wizard Pals, which is admittedly a bit small, but if you want it there, we do have the PDF up on screen. And there it is. It is that figure. The figure keeps their arms crossed and the feather in between two fingers and watches you still from the chair. There is a feeling of immediate menace coming from them. What do you do, wizards?
What specifically did they say to us? They said the hours grow
He said
long, and I don't.
the hour
care for
grows late, and they don't much care for guests these days.
Is there a door? Like, is there a way out of here visible? I think you said there was like another.
You see some windows, and there's the doorway that you're entering through, but you do not see another door in this chamber. You do, like I said, there are a few windows, which there is light coming through. It's like the main source of light here, but it's a bit strange and angular, as it's light that is coming down to windows at the bottom of this impossible upside-down tower within a chasm.
Okay.
We will not take up much of your time.
Yeah, we're not
And then-
staying. We're just passing through. Okay.
The figure inclines their head just a bit to one side, looks around the room. Just passing through. And where do you propose you would pass to, then?
An excellent question.
Hey, where'd you get that feather? I hope you got consent from the bird before you just took it.
Rue, the figure, you don't see them move at all. They're just sitting still. And you can't see their eyes under the shadow of the hat, but you can feel their gaze lock with yours. Consent for a feather. Why, I simply found this feather. And Rue, can you go ahead and roll wizardly prowess for me?
I got a 6, and the number I have to beat is 3 or higher, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got a pretty low target number.
Do I get a
Rue,
-2 to this or something from the head? I forget what the condition was.
that's only if you were rolling to do a magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you are good right now. You feel this pressure against your temples. And as this figure speaks to you and says that they just found this feather, it's like the air pressure in the room changes, almost gives you a headache for a moment. And you can feel that something about this person's voice is trying to reach into your mind. Now, something that is very important to wizards everywhere is that you can't be sure this is what this was because it didn't succeed. But to use magic to control another's mind, their thoughts, their will, that is one of the greatest taboos to a wizard.
You guys, this thing is trying to get inside my mind. I think it might be a wizard bastard.
My sword is drawn. It's under
You can
my
see-
voluptuous dress, and it's already pulled out.
Rue, as you say the phrase wizard bastard while they still don't move from the seat, you can see that rictus toothy grin get just the tiniest bit wider.
Yeah, they're smiling like a real bastard.
It's a bastard smile, yeah.
That's all.
Would James know what this feather is, or if there's anything interesting about it?
James, you can feel free to roll knowledge of sages.
Okay. Yeah, I think the magical third eye that he has is focused on this feather right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That is a 7 -2, and I am trying to hit a 10, so well under.
Okay. As your third and yet only eye locks onto the feather in this figure's hand, you feel the power radiating off of it as a strange extension of the power radiating off of this figure in the chair. And you can see that they're using it as some kind of focus, some sort of directed point of their own power. But you get this impression a little bit, what with the extra insight given to you by the eye, that you can now feel closing and disappearing as quickly as it arrived. Not only does this feather focus the power of this creature, this person, but it also, it feels like it taps into dimensional planar magics of some kind, which feels familiar to you.
I am going to miss having an eye.
I'm running while these two are doing that. I'm running towards this bastard, and I'm ready to attack with my sword.
Okay, you're going right in. As
Yeah.
you do, Pamipe, as you are crossing the room and closing the distance between those two, the figure raises their other hand and snaps their gloved fingers. And all at once, as they do, the hard-packed earth of this chamber is disrupted as a pair of skeletal figures drag themselves up out of it. And they put themselves squarely in your way. And as things have turned violent, Wizards, you're in a fight. Your very first one. Now, none of you are super familiar with combat rules in Wizard Pals, but it's pretty simple. We're going to keep kind of the order that things go in pretty freeform, whatever feels like it makes sense, as long as everyone gets to do something before anyone gets a second round of taking actions. And there are now 2 skeletons right in front of you, Pammy Pay, and you have made the first move. So it feels very sensible to me that whatever you want to do in this moment goes first.
Hi. Is there any way? Do I have to tackle these skeletons before I can get to the bastard, or is there any way I can? My first thing can be shoving these guys out of the way.
You can try and juke around them or just knock them out of the way. It is that'll be probably kind of what you do here to be able to get past them. So you would, in that case, make a wizardly prowess roll to just try and move around them without them fully, harming or stopping you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave these jabronis for my wizard pals and just go after the bastard. So I'm just gonna try to like put my moon head down and just like bolt like just through them.
Okay, I love that.
So I'm gonna roll wizardly prowess, moonhead, full heart, can't lose, and I did get a 12.
Moonhead, full heart, can't lose, rolls a 12. Pammy Pay the pink. As you charge these 2 skeletons, you lower your head.
I've got my sword behind me, like just fully anime run.
You Naruto run at these 2. And they try and bodily get in your way, and you can see that they are reaching their arms out to try and like grab onto you, but the huge bulbous nature of your moon head makes it so that they can't just get purchase at all, and they kind of just like slide to the side, and the wizard bastard is left open.
My lack of eyes are locked on.
Yeah, I think that unless one of you other 3 wizards has a move you would like to make.
I want to talk to the skeletons, because I can talk to the dead.
Absolutely, nice. You can, yes.
I just want to be like, you guys don't have to work for this wizard bastard and just do whatever he says. You have your own free will, and you can be a wizard pal.
You say that to them, and they look around confused for a second with a bit of a clatter of their bones, and they both turn towards you, and one of them goes, "What do you mean we have our own free will? I've never heard of such a thing."
You don't have to let him just summon you out of the ground like that. You can make your own decisions.
Are you sure? It feels like this is pretty much some stuff we've got to do. We're literally skeleton minions,
Yeah, but look at me. I'm a ghost, and I don't have to do whatever any necromancer just comes along and snaps their fingers.
Vivian, okay. I just thought of something, and it's... Okay.
Oh, no.
I would like you to roll wizardly prowess to convince these 2, and remember that you have a +2 to this roll.
I have a +2 because of my fat ass.
And the fact that you're using it to convince some skeletons of something is incredible.
It almost seems like it's
Being
rubbing
dead
it in
isn't
their
all
face.
bad. Yeah.
You could be like me. Instead of
You could be dead and still have an axe.
Instead of a bony skeleton.
I got a 9 + 2, so 11. And my target is a 9.
Oh my god, that's incredible. Okay. Vivian, you give this impassioned little speech to these 2 skeletons, and they both kind of look like they just don't even know what to do, and one of them is like, "I don't know about all of this," and the other one kind of clatters and goes, "Look, Look at what we could have if we didn't just follow the whims and will of this friggin' jerk. This one could have brought us back any old way. Why weren't we ghosts with great asses? And they seem very convinced, and at very least, they don't know what exactly to make of this situation, and they are not going to have a turn this time around at all, as they're kind of arguing with each other about their own existence. Vivian, it is disheartening in a way that you can feel your ghostly ass sort of return to normal as this argument is happening.
It was nice while it lasted. It did what it should do.
It's some real good in the world.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was thinking the skeletons might make some kind of move. They are definitely not doing that. If Rue or James want to jump in here, feel free. Otherwise, the wizard bastard might want to make a move of their own.
I will try to use my spell to like, so if I can like feel the earth around me and see if there's some roots or vines or something that I can summon, I might try and restrain the wizard bastard, or even just try and have the vines steal the feather.
Very cool. Okay. Your green nature wizard senses reach out in the space around you, and you can feel that there are remnants of roots down in this packed earth that makes up the floor of this chamber, so recently disturbed by these skeletons dragging themselves out of it. It's not healthy. It's barely, if at all, been alive in a long time, but you can feel that there are these twisted, gnarled roots beneath you, and for the first time, they feel a magical force coursing through them that feels positive and life-giving, and you can feel that these things will absolutely try and help you in this. They reach up towards the wizard bastard. I'm not really that into having enemies roll for this kind of thing. So I think this should just work, honestly. This is a great idea and a great use of a spell. Would you prefer that they try to snatch the feather or to restrain this figure?
I think just since it seems like the bastard is doing most of his magic without moving anyway, I think it would make more sense for the vines to try and grab the feather.
Okay, yeah. I love that. You could see that this figure was just starting to move a little bit forward, as if to stand out of the chair at least. And right as they do, these dying vines creep up the side of the chair, wrap around their hand, and restrict that feather. And the figure looks down at their hand and kind of like jerks it free, no longer holding the feather in the gloved hand.
Cool. Then I say, "Oh look, I found a feather."
Ooh, them heroic, cruel ironies. I love it.
It's very good.
Okay. I think the wizard bastard is going to try and lash out at Pammy because she is the closest. However, there's going to be an effect on their roll here because they no longer have their feather focus. So, Pammy, I'm going to roll an arcane assault roll against you, and you are going to roll with your Enchanter's Aegis bonus.
Okay, which is no bonus at all. Oh, but I did get a 12, so that's a 10.
10. Yeah, so here's the thing. I rolled a 2, and without their feather, they're only getting a +1. So you, tripled their attack roll. So they lash out at you with this wave of sort of like grayish, sickly power. And you see it coming. You just cut right through it with your sword. And the sort of feedback of your power just cutting right through theirs, you can see them kind of like cringe and fall back and gasp in surprise. And it seems that you have actually done some damage to them. And the last person to go this time around is James.
Yeah. So the feather is currently held by these vines, these plant growth that Rue created.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's what James is going to do. I think James sees all of this going on and sighs and says, "It's so exhausting having a body." And with a whoosh of air, they're going to drop there's a clatter down to the ground, and just the cloak and hat of James' figure drifts away from what is revealed to be just a mannequin lying on the ground. And I would like James, if possible, to dash ahead, grab this feather, and pull it even further away from this wizard bastard.
Okay. You're crossing some distance, and even with it wrapped up in the vines, they are closer to it than you. So I would like a wizardly prowess roll here.
All right, we may need some re-rolls here.
Yeah, we do each have 2 rerolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and burn at least one, because I did make myself very good at one thing, and it's not wizardly prowess, unfortunately. So with both of my rerolls, I still fail. A 1, a 2, I think a 3 in there.
James, you sort of lose the most corporeal version of a form you've had, and are just sort of this magical force drifting with a hat and a cloak. And you swirl around the edge of these arguing skeletons and get over towards this tall black chair. And you go to get this feather, and without any corporeal form, you realize that you have to focus a bit differently to interact with the world around you, and you can't quite get it. You are also now pretty darn close to Never Was the Wizard Bastard. But you're in the mix, and you've got a goal for yourself here. That is everyone, and so we are kind of into the next round here. Pamipe, you started things off, and you've just been attacked. Are you wanting to jump in here?
Yeah,
or does someone else have something else?
I think I'll attack.
All
pretty
right.
straightforward. I'll keep doing that. So I roll my arcane assault and add
Yes, you do.
to it, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, that's a 7.
7. Because Never Was is a wizard bastard, unlike a lot of enemies that just have kind of like a static defense you're trying to hit, they actually do also have an Enchanter's Aegis, so they are going to try and block that attack. They rolled a 9, which isn't going to get a bonus at all because they don't have their feather anymore. But that does still beat your attack of 7. So you come around with your sword, and they just, you're so strong, and you're very powerful, and it's deeply annoying how easily they catch the edge of your blade.
Yeah, I think part of it too is I swung up to deflect whatever they were doing, which like used up my momentum, and then I was forced to swing down on them, which made it, I was running forward, the momentum's not good.
You've got kind of an awkward angle, but even the little momentum you get back into this swing, you can feel it just like end as soon as their hand catches that blade.
I say, it appears we're fully equal combatants to each other.
I disagree, they
Well-
say.
Well, you're about to find out.
All right. I am going to. What do I want to do with these skeletons? It was such a good roll, and in a way that I do not want to ignore because that ruled. So I think these skeletal minions. Yeah, I don't think they're trying to stop all of you, for sure. I think Vivian has been much too convincing for that. I think one of the skeletal minions is going to try and get that feather for themselves and become the master of their own destiny. And so, James, as you are kind of trying to pull the feather out of this bundle of vines, one of the skeletons kind of clatters over to you and is like, "Get out of the way, Clokey!" And starts kind of like digging into the vines.
I
and
will
yanks...
have you know that is a very offensive term.
What, are you gonna be a real snowflake about it?
Oh no!
Wow. I can't believe you just said that.
You give them an inch and they take a mile. You show them one
All
ass.
right, we're fine to take them down.
even the other skeletal minion is like, that didn't feel good. I'm technically on that guy's side, but I don't know about this. Also, I want the feather. And so these skeletons are still just shouting at each other while one of them is holding the feather. It's also not, it never was holding this feather very delicately between two fingers. And the skeleton just like fully has it in its bony fist. And is just kind of like waving around this feather like an idiot. You're not sure that it has any idea what to do with that. That's going to be the skeletons this turn, now in possession of the feather. They've been real mean and weird to James. And I think, unless somebody wants to jump in before I do this, Never Was is going to lock eyes with Panape. You can now see, now that you're this close up, that under the hat and all of the shadows, it's like, it's not actually just a skull. It moves, the smile changes, but like the eyes are just these black pits.
So this is a bit of a Jack Skellington situation.
A bit of a Jack Skellington, you could say, yeah. Fewer songs, I would say, but other than that.
So far.
So far.
So far. There's still time.
And this wizard bastard is going to force a wizardly prowess roll from you, Pampe.
Okay.
A thing I realize you're very good at, but
I am good at
I'm gonna go for it anyway.
I'm good at it. Actually, that's fine. I rolled a 2, but that is my number. So that's fine.
Yeah, as you are like locking eyes with this wizard, I'm just gonna make a quick roll for them. They do a bad job on that roll, so they're not gonna be doing that again for now. You feel almost as though you are like falling into the pits that are their eyes. Excuse me. And
sounds like we're falling
as
in
you
love.
feel yourself, sort of almost like
what
drifting
are we?
forward.
You
kind
are
of
a bit of a
snap
Jack
out of
Skellington.
you kind of snap yourself back and realize no, it's just because all sword fights are sexy.
Oh yeah. That's what it is.
And in this moment, Never Was has no power over you.
I would like to attack this wizard bastard.
Vivian getting in the mix. Okay. Go ahead and roll with your Arcane Assault bonus.
Okay. Oh. That's 4 plus 2, so 6.
6. They are going to try and roll against it. They actually roll an 8. So they sort of manage to position themselves so that Pamape is between you and them. And it's an awkward angle, and you're not sure that you won't hit Pamape with your magic.
Yeah, bit of a third wheel.
Yeah. So, let's see. We've had Pamape, Vivian, these skeletons, and Never Was make a move. Rue and James, what is up for either of you?
James can go ahead and go. James is going to try and once again get this feather, now from the squabbling skeletons.
Absolutely.
So what do I need to roll here?
I think that's still going to be a prowess roll. I'm just gonna say take a +1 on this, because the skeleton is just sort of like waving it around and yelling at the other skeleton, not really paying that much attention to you.
Let's see here. Hey, that's a 12.
Hey,
Nice.
Very nice. So as the skeleton is waving it around, you're just kind of like, no, and you just sort of pull it out from the bottom of the fist, and you
Pull it
are
right
holding. You're pulling it right between the bones. Yeah, you have the feather.
Yeah. First, I'm going to look at the two skeletons, and I'm just going to say, you two, find something more worthy to fight for. And then I'm going to drift over to Pamipe and extend the feather very gently and just say, if you would.
Ooh, okay.
Because you, Pamipe has a few tricks.
I do.
Up
I
their
do have a
sleeve.
trick up my sleeve.
Okay. Rue, that just leaves you in this go around.
So I think I just walk up to the skeletons and I'm like, yeah, I have something really worth fighting for. And I pull out my Blu-rays of Avatar by James Cameron. And I'm like, you need to see this. Like, if you didn't catch this while you were alive, this is going to change your afterlife, I swear. Once you see this, I think you'll understand what we're fighting for. And I start describing the movie to them.
You're just describing the movie to
You're
the minutes.
holding Blu-rays and describing the movie.
It's here. I have these 3D glasses too. I don't know if they'll work for you guys, but I have them.
Okay, well, truly any chance that these skeletons were going to try and do something in this next go around is gone now. They're fully engrossed in being having a James Cameron movie painstakingly described to them.
There's already 4 more sequels greenlit. It's huge.
4 more. It must be very, very popular then.
It's a theme park.
Something like that. Yep. People love the rides. Yep.
In some circles.
It did break some box office numbers. Let's not,
Yeah,
let's
everyone
not
went
diss
to see
Avatar
it.
too much. It was
I think it's still
popular.
like the number 1. I think it still has the highest grossing box office of all time. Yeah, you guys. I mean, just yeah. After this, when we get back on the surface, I'll take you. We'll go watch it.
Wonderful.
Incredible. Okay, I feel like Pamipe, you've mostly been going first, but I feel like you've been kind of alley-ooped here a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I still have this one hand that I'm, like fighting. I also think it's pretty cool that, like, the last thing I said to this wizard bastard, I said, like, we're evenly matched. They said, I don't think so. And I said, I guess you'll see. And then their next attack missed. And we've just been, like, missing each other. So with my other hand, you know, I've got, like, you know, my sword. They're holding on to it. With my other hand, I reach behind me. And I can just use my trick. Do I need to roll anything to incinerate this feather?
No, I think you can just destroy this thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just like, without even looking, I hear James say, like, you know, this could be useful, and I just put my hand behind me, my other hand with the sword, and just incinerate it.
Very cool. The feather, not unlike a book just a few rooms ago, goes immediately to ash in your hand.
I take the ash and I put it in the wizard bastard's hand.
This is for you.
I always return things to where they're supposed to be.
Never Was holds out their hand for a moment, and the smile just kind of like flattens into this grimace. As the ashes are kind of just like dropping from their hand, and they let it shake, there's just this rattle from deep within them, this sort of pained groan, and their whole form just seems to like shudder inwards for a moment. They are not dead. They are still standing in front of you, but they seem diminished by that shock that has just gone through them. And you have clearly messed up Never Was quite a bit.
Never was, never will be. Again.
I don't think they're going to do a thing immediately. I think they're experiencing some shock from that. So on this next go around, whoever would like to go next, feel free. So far, only Pamipe has gone this go around, and the skeletons again are just fascinated with this James Cameron technological masterpiece.
We're like babysitting these skeletons, just taking turns distracting them with things.
Just putting toys in front of them. Basically jingling keys.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try to attack again.
Go for it. Go ahead and roll your arcane assault.
Okay. Oh, this time I got a 12 plus 2.
A 12. Damn. Okay. I only rolled a 4 with no bonuses because of the lack of feather. So as that is more than twice the defense roll, you're going to take away 3 vitality points from this wizard bastard, who wasn't like the most full of them already, what with everything that's just happened. Never Was is not looking great. Vivian, describe the way you release your necromantic magic at this figure.
I kind of just like absorb some of this like purple energy, because clearly Never Was is like up to some of his own like necromancy, like, so there's this kind of like, I feel like ambient like necromantic energy in the room, so I'm trying to like absorb it and like shoot it back, like purple.
Absolutely. You all can see that as Vivian draws in this purple swirling energy from the room itself and from Never Was, and directs it in that way, her form just becomes like all at once more solid, and to the point where you almost can't see through her anymore. As she kind of like binds herself to that energy and directs it, it blasts into Never Was, who sort of stumbles back a little bit closer to one of the tall windows that's against one wall. And they're looking pretty messed up at this point.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw in an attack with James then.
Go for it.
Yeah. James says, I hate this part. And then they like billow up in like an anime attack style. Like the cloak just kind of billows up. There's a gust of air from underneath. And then a blast of energy shoots out. And that is a 2, 5 minus 3.
5 minus 3.
5 minus 2, so a 3.
A 3. That's even better because my pal and yours never was. I'm sorry, the opposite of a pal. My bastard and yours never was. In fact, rolled a 2. With no bonuses whatsoever. So, James, as you release that energy, what happens to Never Was?
Ooh, is this the final hit?
Let's see. Actually, no. They are hanging on by a thread, but I miscounted. They're still technically here. And you release this energy into them. Or you just kind of give them a good solid blast?
I think for this, some of the acid wind that James is known for banishing, some remnant of that, I think, blasts across them.
Yeah.
Eating away at least their clothes.
Yeah. With the same skill with which you ones banished the acid winds themselves, you release your power towards Never Was. And almost the exact opposite of what you just saw happen with Vivian, where she was becoming sort of more present and real and solid. You can see just that, like the very form of Never Was is becoming almost intangible, and this like fine high-necked coat they've been wearing just looks tattered and like it will blow away in a breeze.
Very good.
I think they're gonna try. Who hasn't gone yet this round here?
I haven't.
Just Rue, I think.
Yeah.
I think before Rue goes, Never Was is gonna try one last thing. Ooh, actually, they tried it already. Let me see if they can. They can. Okay, cool. Rue, go ahead and make a wizardly prowess roll for me.
You're gonna fall in love.
I got a 5.
What's your target?
3.
All right. As you are all kind of closing in on the bastard of Undertower themselves, their form, which almost just looks like this coat draped over this small, nearly skeletal form, no longer nearly so impressive or menacing. They look up at you, and they say, "Ruala the Viridian, just think of all you could accomplish if you and I joined forces. What possible interest could these wizards have in bringing forth this realm that you so desperately seek? I can help you." And as those words kind of like try and leach into you, like before, you manage to shake it off, and you know this is bullshit.
Yeah, so I'm like in the middle of talking to the skeletons when this starts happening. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
so the only questionable part about the entire Avatar franchise is their choice of papyrus as the font for the movie title. But it's forgivable when you actually see the contents of the film. This isn't
I
my
drink water when you started talking. What a dumb mistake.
this is not my joke. Mason Jar Jenkins in the
Yeah.
chat.
Nice.
Yeah. What also Melanie has, I would love to know this as well. Melanie asked what's 2 been doing this whole time while
That's a great question.
Rue is talking about Avatar.
The entire time Rue is talking about James Cameron's Avatar, 2 is just talking about the fact that, like, James Cameron's only good movies were before he had money available to him, when he was breaking a bunch of laws to try and make, and it's just like trying to talk over you. And the thing is, 2 can't match your passion for Avatar.
But you can.
Yeah, and
You can.
I think I just like Rue, again, not understanding that 2 is very much like supposed to be a detriment. Rue likes when people debate about Avatar with them. It's something they love. So they just think this is just a good friend and a spirited conversation. I'm like, okay, yeah, Papyrus. Hold on. What? Hey, you bastard person, stop trying to talk to me. I'm doing something much more important here. And then I'll try and get this out of the way. I'm gonna say, all right, skeletons 2, watch this. And then I'm gonna do a magic. I mean, I could just attack, but I want to do a magic.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do a magic to summon the type of bird that I think the feather would have belonged to, and then send it flying at Neverwas. Or conjure the bird, summon it, either one.
That's insane. I will say.
It's not the most insane thing that's happened so far, I don't
It's certainly not. Certainly not.
I say, what's insane is choosing Papyrus as your font for a movie with such a high budget.
$1 billion movie.
Jesus Christ. I will say this for just so this is on the table. If you are rolling to do a magic, you are going to take a penalty because of your criticizing second head distracting you from magic. So that's going to be a fairly tough roll for you. However, with the nature of this game being that any roll you're making is one version or another of you doing magic, if you want to do this as an attack that you are flavoring as summoning up this bird, so you don't have the penalty. But if you think the penalty is more fun, then like by all means.
Yeah, I think just because like I don't think I would be able to get the killing blow based on the fact that I have this criticizing head. So I think it's funny if I attempt and then let it make fun of me. So I'm going to be real boisterous since I've got these skeletons hanging on my every word. I'm really in my element. And I'm like, yeah, everybody watch this too. Check this out. It's going to be amazing. Let me know what you think. And I'll try and do that.
Okay. I'm going to say to summon the bird that you think the feather most likely came from. I think that's a big magic.
Okay.
So to do a big magic, you need to roll above an 8.
Okay, so I need an 11 or 12.
I think you have rerolls.
You do have rerolls.
Well, I got a 10, which is an 8, but it has to be above an 8, you say?
It's supposed to be above an 8.
Okay, I'll do a reroll.
Yeah, you've got 2 rerolls.
I got a 12.
Yes.
Oh God.
We want to see the bird.
Show us the bird. Show us the bird.
Absolutely worth it. Okay.
Holy moly.
So loud. I'm so sorry.
Whoa.
Oh wow. I mean, it's so far one of the most important roles that's happened. Okay, Rue. You say 2 skeletons, watch this, you're gonna love it. And you imagine what type of bird that feather belonged to. And from the little pile of ashes left on the ground, there's a little bit of movement. And then there are some orange sparks that come out. And then...
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
God damn it. Okay. All right. Hang on. There is a burst of flame from that little pile of ashes, and you see before you this glorious burning phoenix. And it looks down at itself as if in shock, and it looks at you, Rue, and it understands that you did this. And it looks at Never Was, and then it looks down at itself again, and it sees a spot where there is no feather, and there should be. And it looks at Never Was, the wizard bastard of Undertower, and it says, I can't believe you've done this! And in a burst of flame, it flies towards Never Was and the window behind them, going straight through their body and bursting the window behind them and flying away to freedom. As the form of Never Was is just completely engulfed in flame until reduced to nothing.
Sick.
Incredible.
What a bastard.
Okay.
What does
Real
2 say?
bastard.
What does 2 say after that?
Oh yeah.
2 says, you know what? Just kind of nods solemnly. I think I was a little too critical of Avatar by James Cameron, and I think I should give it another shot.
We'll do that when we get home, for sure.
Yeah. And then very quietly they say, when we get home. And the head just kind of withers away to smoke
Oh my
and drifts
God.
off of your shoulder.
2. No! I know that Rue just won the thing, but I feel like I lost.
Oh my gosh, Pammy Pay is so confused because
I-
they've been so focused on the sexy, very evenly matched fight, and then to them
Right.
a bird came out of nowhere and killed this bastard.
Darkness, my old friend.
Really, really good use of sound alerts.
Honestly.
Chat's killing it.
All right.
Okay. James is gonna just drift over real quick to Rue, and James has no hand at this point to put on Rue's shoulder, but
Right.
there's a bit of presence, a sort of smoky energy that sort of rests on your shoulder, Rue, and just says, I will help you find them.
Thank you, James. You're a great pal.
Welcome.
So, the pile of ashes that was Never Was. For a moment, you see shadow swirl around it. And that shadow raises up in a ghostly form of similar to the body of Never Was that you saw before. Vivian, you can feel the energy radiating off of this thing, not like before, not the power of a necromancer, but just the force of a thing that is simply no longer alive. And as the shade floats there for just a moment, it looks at you, Rue, the wizard who defeated them, and you hear this voice say in a whisper that fills your mind for just a moment, forget yourself, wizard, and when death finds you, may it bring you to the same fate as me. And with that, the shade sort of dissipates and the traces of it blow out the now shattered window. And Rue, you've heard of this kind of thing. You think that was a death curse.
Okay, great.
What did that bastard say to you?
Yeah, this bastard's been talking to me the whole time. I'm not sure if you guys could hear what they were saying, but pretty consistently throughout this encounter. You guys didn't hear any of the weird whispers? Oh, okay.
No.
They just told me that to forget myself, wizard, and that the fate that befell him would befall me upon my death. And I think it was a death curse.
That's pretty
That sounds like
fucked
a
up. I
curse.
feel like we won fair and square. It's kind of You know, if somebody killed me in a fair fight, I wouldn't give them a death curse.
Yeah, but I wouldn't worry too much about it just because, like, I mean, Sigourney Weaver's character dies in Avatar, but she's already signed on for, I think, all the sequels. So death is really just like a new beginning, right? Right, Vivian?
Absolutely. There's worse things.
Yeah.
Far worse.
Incredible. Wizards, as you have defeated Neverwas, you look around this chamber, which seems a bit brighter now. And a couple of you notice a few things. James and Pamape, you both think to yourselves privately, well, that feather had this sort of dimensional magic. Now that that doesn't exist anymore, well, no one's going to use that feather to open up the Mystic Gate, or now the Mystic Gate will close. Whichever one is important. Maybe that happened now. Vivian, as you glance around the space, you look at a couple of the short bookshelves that were near the more comfortable seating, and you see a book that looks very, very old and looks like it may have been on a shelf with some similarly aged tomes up in the library.
Yes, I want to take a look at the book.
You go for the book. Rue, it's hard to say if you're closer to creating the world that you want to see. Hard to say, but what you do know is that you have two potential fans of James Cameron's Avatar right here with you, who are ready and willing, and strangely still animate. As you're all sort of reflecting on this, you can feel the structure of Undertower itself begin to shake, and you quickly get the impression that without the magic of Neverwas themselves here anymore, the structure maybe doesn't have that much time left in this world. You begin running back through the chambers that you've been through before. You see that the potions, the catalyst potions, are now totally inert, not bubbling at all. Dead magic in their cauldrons. You make your way up to the library, and you can see the remnants of the librarians who have all crumbled without the magic that was keeping them animated. And you get to the ladder that leads up into the cozy cottage in the center of the stone bridge. As you get to the top of the ladder, you can see that, oddly not fallen apart, is the stone giant snoring away on top of a tower that is crumbling.
I'm gonna.
You just wake him up. Hey, we're back. We should go. We should go.
Vivian,
Get outta here.
you say that, and the giant sort of, good morning. Oh, that doesn't feel good down there. I don't think I need to be in this chair anymore.
Yeah, we had a talk with the creator. I think that was a real bastard.
I
You shouldn't
see.
just force people to sit in chairs forever.
That makes sense. You were a very wise wizard. You're right, though. We should go. I can feel it's all going wrong down there.
We should hurry.
And the four of you flee across the bridge with your lumbering stone giant friend behind you. As the giant steps off the bridge, that very last step, the bridge itself begins to shatter and crumble, and you can all see the bone white stone of Undertower plummet into this massive chasm. And that ends your adventure, wizards. Or at least this adventure.
I dust my hands off and I say, well, now that we destroyed that feather, that pesky mystical portal will stay closed forever. Just as I wanted.
No, no. You misremember. You would like to open it.
No, now earlier I do remember you told me the opposite of what you're saying now. I do remember that.
Oh, I would never. I, I am certain I would like it open.
That's it.
And as you all get back to your mounts and move away from this chasm, the world just that much less bastardly. Um, with lively conversation as James the Grey and Pemape the Pink debate over which one of them just had the thing they wanted to happen. Ruala the Viridian chats with their new friends about the movie that they are basically going to watch the moment they find a Blu-ray player. And Vivian the Violet floats alongside the stone giant who doesn't have much of a purpose anymore.
Hey, if you're not busy, I just found this book. Do you want to help me figure out a riddle?
I like riddles conceptually. I've never heard one, but it's never too late to start, right?
Perfect. I think I'll need all the help I can use.
I think for my epilogue-y thing, I'm gonna offer the skeletons. I'll be like, I can use like these vines and wood from the trees to sort of give you nature-based flesh if you want.
Nature
Just
flesh.
filling your little. Yeah. If you want.
Yeah, fuck us up, bro.
Cool. So I touch the ground like next to their feet, and I mean, if I have to roll, I'll roll, but otherwise, like the roots and stuff and grass will all grow and start like twisting around their bones and stuff to form sort of like muscle and sinew. And I make them look as much like the Na'vi as I can with that material. And then I also give them the fattest asses.
Now that you've made these thick plant-based cat folks who they're not blue, but other than that, the body shape is all there. They're very tall now. They're like, we feel alive, like the trees, like the world itself, like in James Cameron's Avatar, of course.
You guys get it. I'm so happy.
So good.
All right, that's all I've got for you, wizards.
That's
That was
all,
great.
folks. That was wonderful. That was so good.
Fun.
Oh my God.
We have a giveaway to do. I'll give everyone a couple more seconds as I'm talking about other stuff that's going on. Reminder, if you enjoyed this game and you would like a copy for yourself, I'm giving away 2 PDFs of this game. If you already own it, that's fine, because you can give it to someone else. I already have the PDFs. I already have copies, and I'm giving them to someone else.
I already got paid.
Yeah. So if you want to enter that giveaway, just put Wizard Pals, all one word, into chat, and you will be entered in. And I will draw that in just a little bit. But first, thank you so much to our guests this evening. First and foremost, of course, to Tadhg for running this session. This was super fun, and writing the game. Wonderful, very, very, very fun. And then also thanks to Josh and Savory and Jason for, first of all, coming so well dressed, and also for making such wonderful wizards. My name is Taylor. I have been the person whose channel this is. I don't know why I said it in such a weird way. If you want to see stuff that I have coming up, normally I say I've been the GM. I think that's why that just happened. I have been Pammy Pay the Pink. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, you can follow me on Twitter at Roll4Felicity, or if you want to see other one-shots that we've done in the past, or eventually see this one, the VOD will be on YouTube, which is also Roll4Felicity. You can follow me on there. And if you're not already following me on Twitch, you can follow me here and get notified when I'm doing other stuff. Tadhg, do you want to have one last little chance to tell people where they can find you and what else you got going on?
Oh, sure. Why not? I'm Tadhg. I hope you enjoyed this. I sure as shit did. No joke. When I was organizing with Taylor to run this game on her stream, these were the people I specifically said, these are who I want to play with. So I'm so happy I got to play with you. And I don't know. I've talked so much about this game, and you can just find me on Twitter at TigTheBard. There's stuff there if you want it. So I'll do the thing I did on Wednesday where I shill for somebody else a little bit, and say that my good pal Maddie, who did the layout on Wizard Pals and did an amazing job. They're so good at what they do, is an incredible game designer who has a game on Kickstarter right now. It is a game called Megalos. It is fully funded, but there are still stretch goals it can reach. I think it is going to be entering into its last week. So don't sleep on that. I played it a couple of weeks ago on their stream. It's so much fun. It's maybe not quite as silly as Wizard Pals, but it does a similar thing where it just encourages you to make big, wild choices, and I love that. So go check that out. That's me. That's it.
Yeah, and Melanie, if you want, you might already be doing this, but if you want to put the link to that Kickstarter in chat so people can check it out, that'd be great. If not, I'm pretty sure Tadhg has retweeted it. I think I may have retweeted it, but it's probably pretty far down on my feed because I did a big old thread of games that you could get on itch, so you might have to dig on mine for a little bit. I don't know what order we're doing now. I guess we'll start with Josh. We didn't start with Josh. So where can people find you? What else do you have going on?
Yeah, people can find me on Twitter at WildJBlue. That's really the only place on the internet that you can find me. You can try to like hunt me down in real life, but that would be weird, I feel like. So please don't. I don't know why I brought it up.
Yeah, I don't
do that. But if you didn't get enough of me from this stream, you can find me on Twitter. You can do that. That's my plug.
Zavery, how about you?
Yeah, I'm Zavery on Twitter, and yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys for running this game. It was so much fun, and it was so fun to play with Zay and Jason for the first time. That was amazing, and yeah, so of course shout out to my mom and to my sister Peebs. Thank you for watching, and yeah, thank you everyone. The chat was so amazing in this game. I feel like y'all really stole the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that.
Jason, where can people find you? What do you got to plug?
You can find me on Warlock Trash on Twitter. I wanted to thank all of you guys again too. Those of you I've played with before, it's always a blast, and then getting to play with new people was so fun. And yeah, I think we've all been mutuals on Twitter for some time since I joined Taylor's crew of friends who are on this stream. So it was really nice to actually get to play with you guys in person.
Yeah.
I'll plug my local costume shop. It's called Masquerade. It's there all the time. It's basically just a Spirit Halloween, except it doesn't go away.
Hell yeah.
So it's not great. It's not an amazing costume shop. It's just a costume shop, and it's there. The prices, not great. This was too much, but
honestly, all you need is to be there.
Yeah.
Jason,
right. I need it. It's there.
Can you stand up a little bit so people can see what you've got going on? Is that...
Yeah, so this is a female elven archer's costume. Even if I stand all the way up, you can't see how short the skirt part is, but I'm wearing basketball shorts underneath it. So
Jason,
thank you, Masquerade.
Jason, I'm gonna be in Philadelphia next month for a little bit, and I'm not going to be there for long, so I shouldn't spend time going to this costume shop. But now it's all I want to do.
If you go to the costume shop, we can hang out. We can
Hell
go
yeah.
there.
Hang out at the
But
costume
only
shop.
But
if-
only if you go to the costume shop.
Well, they just said they wouldn't be there for long, so I'm like, I don't want to pressure them to like have to see me. But if they're doing something where it would make sense that I would also go, I will do that. But
You
if you
gotta
just want to
use
hang
a-
out, we can too.
You got to use up your monthly costume allowance somehow. So.
I went over
Yeah.
budget for sure. For sure.
This has been so wonderful. Thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you to Goblin Girl Gaming for the bits, Dreamy for the gifted sub, Melanie for the bits, Realist Mogul for the bits, Some Damn Smith for the bits, Wrath of the Badger for the follow and for the raid. Troll Mila starting us off strong with some bits right out of the gate. Appreciate that so much. And we are going to continue on. First of all, I promised a giveaway and I almost just ended the stream without doing it. So let me
How
do
dare you.
this. I think I should just be able to do this. Melanie, you are the winner of the first Wizard Pal giveaway. And the second is myself, which I entered to check. The second is Goblin Girl Gaming. So awesome. So somebody who has it and someone who doesn't have it. I will get with both of you after the stream. So you can let me know how to Jason, if you give me those links in Zoom, I have links turned off in chat unless you're like a
Gotcha.
mod basically.
Yeah.
So if you
that's
put them in
fair.
Zoom, I
Okay.
can put them in chat. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Melanie's gonna gift hers to Troll Mila, so I will get with Mila and with Goblin to give them their games, both of who I'm already connected with on Discord, so that should be pretty easy. Okay, here's the link. The link first and foremost to Masquerade. And then also to...
My God, that's such a good website.
Dude, I was almost late to this game because they just weren't working at checkout when I was trying to leave.
And then also Malarkey Books, which Jason mentioned at the break. And speaking of Goblin, who won one of the things, we're gonna raid them because they were here earlier,
Oh, they're
and
on right
also they're going to be playing on stream sometime next month, so it makes sense to raid them. And it's been a while since we've raided Goblin. So let me do this. Goblin Girl Gaming. I'm guessing Dress Up Your Imagination is from the website.
The slogan.
I'm excited to see this website. If you are a subscriber, you can just copy and paste this raid message whenever it comes up, the whole thing, because it uses the sparkling water emote. If you are not a subscriber when we get over to Goblin's chat, which a raid for anyone who's new to Twitch just means we're going to be taking our whole chat and going to someone else's chat. And you can copy and paste that message just to show them some love whenever it comes up. And if you don't, you aren't a subscriber, you don't have the emotes, you can just put felicitations from the Felicity Raiders, or raid, or hello, or whatever you'd like to say. And I think that's it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. So I'm just gonna go to my little stream ending page, and we will all wave farewell. Goodbye, chat.